Okay, let's get started. And I just want to run over the rules a little bit. And that includes that we're going to try not to cuss. We're going to try to use our descriptive words, our good descriptive words.
Don't just look at me.
And, okay, I won't just look at you. We're going to, we're going to turn our cell phones off and be respectful of each other's feelings. And,
That means you too.
so yes, that means me too. So let's check in and see how we've done this last week and how this last week has gone. And one of the things that we learned last week was to disengage when things get heated and to just try to back off before situations get intense. So, how was your last week, Alexis? Tell me about it. About your...
What do you mean?
Alright, let's go to your mom if you're not ready to share.
I'll share. I'll share that the dynamics, as we call them, between me and Alexis are heated quite often. The disengaging, it only works at certain times because it seems to fuel the flame sometimes. One disengages, the other one gets more upset. So I don't know. What do you think, Alexis? You've been using the disengaging more than I have.
But it just seems to make you so angry. You just want to yell at me, and when I don't yell back and I walk away, you get more angry. Like you just want me to sit there and let you scream in my face, like telling me that I was wrong, and I can't say anything back. I'm just supposed to sit there and take it. And when I walk away, you seem to like get even more pissed off. I mean angry.
So you feel like your disengaging just works to anger your mother? That it's not
It doesn't
helping
de-escalate the situation.
to de-escalate. It's not de-escalating. Would you agree?
I think that I would agree, but I think that the feeling is mutual. When I disengage, she gets angrier. It's the same both ways. But she has an exaggerated, what would you call it? Recollection of what she's describing.
A little bit dramatic.
A little bit dramatic, yes.
No, I get that from my mother.
That's
That might be true.
That's actually in line with her developmental stage, with your developmental stage, Alexis.
So it's okay for 35-year-olds to still have that problem?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's why we're here working on it, trying to.
Alright, so you want to give me an example of how you've both practiced disengaging and what the results were? Why don't you give me an example of when Alexis disengaged?
Okay, Alexis seems to know when to disengage that pushes my buttons. That's the disengaging part. That's where the disengaging part, there's a fine line between disengaging and fueling the flame, I would say.
Right, so you'd say that she's strategically disengaging?
Strategically disengaging, if that has to be the way you put it, yes.
Like selective hearing, only it's selective disengaging?
Yes. Just the right time. Just the right time to push my button.
And what happens when your button gets pushed?
Oh, you don't even want to know. Like she says, she gets hers from me.
What does it look like, Alexis, when you're pushing your mom's buttons?
It's funny. I mean, just to see her reaction when I'm just like, okay, Mom, whatever, and I walk away, and you could just see her eyes like blink in, and you could see the rage just come out, and she's just this ball of anger, and I start laughing because it's funny how this technique doesn't work, and how quickly she can turn from I'm mad to I'm gonna rip your head off.
It escalates quickly. And how does that make you feel?
I don't really have any feelings about it.
Oh, she has feelings about it.
Tell me about her feelings.
She may not say anything right now, but she is completely out of control and outrageous with her mouth when she gets mad and out of control.
Well, then I have something to say about it.
But she goes off and says things that she doesn't need to say. Saying things that she doesn't, spouting off at the mouth, I call it. Spouting things out that need not be said. Or that could be said in a way different manner. But I've caught myself doing the same thing. And I know that kids get what they get. Usually. Act in the same manner as a parent. What I've been told by counselors.
Right? I think we've discussed that. Alexis, how do you feel about what your mom just said? About your spouting off at the mouth and...
Well, obviously, I'm gonna do that. I'm angry. I mean, I don't understand why parents think that kids just have to sit there. And the parent can tell them, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm an adult, you're a kid, I'm right, you're wrong. I have all the authority, blah, 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 blah. And just sit there and yell this in their face. And I'm just like, I don't put up with it. I feel like if you can yell in my face, I can yell in your face. And I might use vulgar language, but so do you, so does she.
And so you're telling me that you think that you feel that you need to do what your mom does.
I feel like she should treat people how she wants to be treated, and if she wants to treat people like nasty, well then she's gonna get treated like nasty.
And likewise. And likewise. It's kind of the way I feel. Sometimes when it's not disengaging to me when we're in the middle of a conversation, a real conversation, and she says, whatever, and walks away. That's not disengaging. To me, that's being disrespectful. She doesn't say, hey, look, this conversation isn't working out for me right now, like she could say. That just doesn't happen.
And what do you feel?
I feel that she could use way more self-control in how she reacts to things, how she reacts to me. I guess that's the way I feel, because I do get upset, and I do get upset. I do. She has to top me. She's got to top me.
Right? Do you feel like there's a power struggle there, Alexis?
I feel like she knows she's in control, but when she's like that, I don't feel that she should be.
So you feel that that your mom sometimes gets out of control, or that she should be taken out of control?
I feel like she loses her bearings and could act more adult-like, more mature. But when we get angry, there's no reason. I'm pissed off and I'm gonna yell at you and you're gonna shut up and listen. And that goes both ways.
That's how you feel when you're mad at your mom?
Mm-hmm.
That she's gonna shut up and listen and...
Like that ever happens, but whatever.
Do you feel like that when you're angry?
I feel like she's my child and I'm a mom. And if I have something to say, she's gonna listen. She needs to listen to me. If she's gonna act like she's so smart and know everything and know what's up and know that she's not gonna end up like me when she gets older, then she ought to do good to take some good advice also and listen. Do what her mommy tells her.
Do you think your mom has good advice?
Sometimes, but other times it's just like, if somebody hits you, walk away. That's not how it's gonna happen. That's how it will never happen. Like, sometimes she gives me really crappy advice. Really, really crappy advice. I mean, like, crappy advice.
Can
but
you give
other
me
times,
an example of crappy advice?
like, when I was dating this boy, she would be like, just dump him, get over him. He doesn't have a job, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that simple. Because when I tell her, your husband's a bum, he ain't got a job, dump him, get over him. And she turns that into a fight. So how can she give advice when she's not taking her own advice? That's how I see it. Like, when she says don't do drugs, and she turns around and pops Xannies because she's tired, or her allergies are acting up, or whatever, or she can't sleep at night, and then she tells me not to do drugs and don't pop pills and all that. I'm like, really? Really? Way to be an example.
Actually, I would encourage her to get on some medication. Being a parent, knowing what it's like to be totally stressed out and completely in like this panic mode, because that's how I feel whenever I get into those rages. Like I'm in a panic that something, if I don't get my way, something bad's gonna happen. And I think that a stress relieving drug, maybe an antidepressant type of drug,
But I'm not
would
depressed.
help in this situation, so that the rage wouldn't be as rage.
So maybe we should, if you want to, explore a meeting with the psychologist. We could do that. We could set up
That'd be great.
a meeting with a psychologist, child psychologist.
Mhm.
How would you feel about that, Alexis?
That is.
Think that's a crazy idea?
I'm trying to find out a word that expresses how stupid that idea is.
You don't feel that you need to see a psychologist?
If I do, then she needs professional help. Straitjacket, medication, antidepressants, everything. If I need to go see a psychologist because I have, when I get mad, I say things that shouldn't be said, then when she gets mad and hits me and hits my brothers or whatever because we're yelling at each other, then she should be in a straitjacket.
I want you to define hit. Please.
Like hit.
Like hit with a fist, boom? Or like
No,
spank
like
with a butt?
slap.
Or spank with a belt?
No, like slap. Like shove, like slap, like freaking hit hard in the back, like whatever. She's done it, or you've done it to me and the boys. Or not the boys, just Joey and me, pretty much.
And how do you feel about what Alexis has said?
I feel, well, she's exaggerating. She's exaggerating a bit, I think. But I wouldn't, like I'm saying, I'm open-minded to seeing a psychiatrist. I think that would be a good idea. For us.
And how do you see the way that you hit the kids?
I mean, just because you see a psychiatrist doesn't mean he has to put you on pills, right?
Right?
Right. You can just talk to him.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. See what he thinks.
Isn't that what she's here for?
Well, there's some things that go on in the brain that I am not skilled in helping with. And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just here to try and help you facilitate communication with your mother. and see how things are going.
I want to work towards a better relationship with Alexis.
We don't always have a bad relationship. It's not like we're always at each other's throats.
Tell me about some good times. One good time. Tell me about one good time.
When we were in Cruces the other weekend,
That was a good time. What made it good?
the fact that she didn't have her husband around to stress her out, even though he was harassing her on the phone. But she just ignored it. She didn't feel like she was obligated to do anything. Break from school, break from work, break from everything.
So your mom was relaxed and that translated to a good time for you?
I think that she's really stressed out because of the job and because of school and because of Bible study and all that and because of, just I'm going out for track and Nimi and all this. And I don't know what the boys are doing, not really my business, but I know they're a handful. Have to clean the house, have to make sure her husband's not off doing whatever. I think she's stressed out about it.
And do you see any ways that you or your brothers might be able to pitch in and...
We do the dishes, we clean the house. I get Angel up for school in the morning. Most of the times the boys clean the yard and, we just help her out around the house, whatever. If she asks us to do, clean the kitchen or whatever, it'll get done. Maybe not that second, but it will get done by the end of the day.
So, let's back up just a little bit and explore your feelings towards your mother's husband. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Please, without being vulgar.
Well, at first, my mom didn't know he was an alcoholic. He hid that from her. And then, during Christmas and New Year's, that's when we saw the real jerk come out. He yelled at me about my dad, called him a bum, a waste, a whole bunch of vulgar, nasty names. And so I went to my other aunt's house and stayed there for 2 days. He didn't have to leave, I did. And I felt really upset about that because it's my house. I was here first. Why should I have to leave? And then after that episode, everything was really bumpy. He was drinking, really, and then he got a job at the mine. And he's still drinking. And then he got laid off or whatever. And he hasn't been back to work since. He's been drinking in and out of the house, back to Deming for a couple weeks, comes back, acts like he runs the place, and then leaves. And just, I can't stand him. He acts like he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and that's not a father figure.
So you're really disappointed in...
I am, and me and my mom and my brothers, we've had pretty effed up pasts, Abusive fathers, abusive boyfriends, whatever, and we got out of that by moving up here. And she throws us back into that situation with an alcoholic instead of a drug addict. And just because he doesn't hit her, she wants to keep him around, but I don't see the point.
And how do you feel about what Alexis has said?
Alexis' feelings are her feelings, and I can't change them or say that they don't exist because I know that her feelings are real and true. I am in love with an alcoholic, and I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but as time goes on and progresses, I am seeing that certain action does need to be taken because I never want to make my kids feel like they have to leave or like this is not their home because of what I'm doing, what I'm allowing. And I want them to be happy before I want to make myself happy, even. And so, you know, it's not as easy as just letting somebody go, though. You can't just be like, bye and you're gone. It's just not that easy. When you're in love with somebody, it's not that easy.
Your children's happiness is important to you.
Yes, absolutely. And they don't lack. They've got what they need. They're well taken care of. My kids are. I would believe that they are well taken care of. They don't want for anything, and I do care for them, but I definitely don't want them to feel like they come sick.
Do you feel that your mom takes your happiness into account?
Sometimes.
And do you feel that you're adequately provided for? And
Yeah, I don't need anything. I don't absolutely I don't go without, like she says. I don't want, it's not about that. It's not like I'm starving. It's not like I don't have clothes. It's not like I don't have a shower.
Well, those are very important things for a person, especially a young teenage girl.
I know. I'm not saying you don't need those things. Like it's not about that.
I just want you to appreciate it.
I do appreciate it. I might not show it every second of the day, but I do.
And what are some ways that you think that maybe you can let your mom know that you do appreciate those things?
We do a lot for her. We do. She has school and everything. She can't always be here. So me and the boys have dishes. Me and the boys get to clean. And it's not like she never cleans. When she's home, she picks up a few things sometimes, maybe.
I sweep a lot.
Well, she sweeps. And we do everything else. We water her plants, take out the trash, clean the living rooms. Apparently she wants us to sweep the ceilings.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like
I hope the sound is picking up on that thing.
makes me feel like we do a lot for her.
I hope the video is picking up on it.
You should do it on test run. So you feel like you do a lot for your mom? Do you think that it's excessive that she wants you to sweep the ceilings?
Not if it, no, because she doesn't ask
Just a
us.
few little cobwebs here and there that they need to be swept down. It's not that big a deal.
That entire ceiling is black with cobwebs.
Well, just to sweep the entire ceiling is not that big a deal.
It's not, because you don't ask us to do it all the time.
Right?
But she wants us
Like
to wash
once
the
every
walls.
year, once every 2 years. It's good for kids to do chores.
And it's good for adults to do chores too.
Sure it is. Your mom does a lot. Don't forget, your mother does a lot. For you.
Right? I think Alexis realizes that because she provided a list of things that you do and going to school and taking care of the kids and on and on, and it was a fairly extensive list.
And I am stressed out quite a bit, especially when my husband's around. I'm very combative, it seems, when he's around. I just want to hit somebody.
Do you feel that he might bring that out on you? Or?
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind that he brings that anger out of me. And I take it out on the kids.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that?
It's just another reason why I know I have to take some kind of action in this situation.
So I'm wondering if we can learn a new technique this week. We're coming to a close here, and disengaging doesn't seem to be adequately working. So maybe we can try a breathing technique. And so when things are heated, you know, and mom's heated and child's heated, and maybe we could just stop and breathe. So there's a special way that you can breathe that is proven to reduce stress, and other breathing techniques work, and other relaxation techniques work too. But there's one that is used for, especially for anxiety and panicky feelings. And so I'll show you how to do it, and then we'll do it together. And that can be our homework this week, is trying to employ this breathing technique. Okay? Okay, so we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose, and we're going to blow it out through pursed lips.
Is that pursed?
Pursed, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
Pursed
lips. Oh, in through the nose, excuse me.
And if we practice doing that 3 or 4 or 5 times, and then see where our conversations go, or where
Try to re-engage.
try to re-engage in a more calm fashion.
Okay.
Okay?
Agreed?
All right.
Okay.
So, anything else that we can work on this week, or any other way that you think maybe I can be helpful this week?
I think we'll try the breathing technique.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll see you next week then.
Thank you. Let's hope.
Oh, I hope that recorded. The sound pictures though.